Ahoy! It's time to set sail because we're cruising today on this edition of the Hub Afternoon Show. I'm Pat Miller, the host of the Hub, and today we've got quite the guest, Vicki Freed, Senior Vice President of Sales and Trade Support and Service for Royal Caribbean. Welcome into the Hub. What makes this place special? This is where the travel industry is together under one roof. And today's conversation, it's going to be fun, it's going to be informative, and it's going to bring you into the conversation because we get to interview Vicki together. So if you have a question, drop it into the chat and we'll make sure that we get you on the air. That's what we do here at the Hub. We are on a quest to kill those boring one-way webinars. That's my job, to try and make it a little bit fun, right? Because make it fun, make some money. Hey, give me a drink with an umbrella in it. That's what we're all about. But first, let's welcome in my co-founder of the Hub and the travel expert amongst us, Tom Brousseau. Tom, good afternoon, my friend. And what's going on back at Hub HQ?
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, today is an awesome day on the Hub. We have been working on this and looking forward to this for quite some time. So a big thanks to Galen for helping us to make this happen, and a big welcome to Vicki Freed from Royal Caribbean. As we have been working over the last few months in putting together our shows, a day like today where we really get to have one of the champions of our industry, on the Hub and give all the Hub members a chance to ask questions and engage with Vicki on our platform is fantastic. Vicki does a great event of her own, the Coffee Talk events, and those are hugely attended, and today we get to turn the tables a little bit and have Vicki as our guest, so very much looking forward to that. Otherwise, lots is going on. I think you guys probably saw that we launched the Fall Fiesta, and that's an awesome new promotion for November where agents continue to hub for free and suppliers are $99. And then also, as I mentioned on the last think tank call, I took the time to really pull together some of the thoughts and ideas that we'd been discussing on the think tank, and I put it all together into an op-ed article, and our friends at Travel Pulse published that. And really the gist is that it's really the travel advisors, it's really the agents who are the real influencers and who are leading the way back for the travel industry. So I just, in that article, gave a couple of shout outs to some of our agent colleagues, Jennifer Donchez, Lori Gold, Randy Otts, that are really, really doing a phenomenal job. And there's lots of others too many to mention really. So if you haven't seen the Travel Pulse article, by all means, take a chance to look that over. And really, from our perspective on the Hub, the conversations that we have here and the ideas that we have here really turn into, I think, really important direction for our industry, and that's what the article was all about. So take a chance, or take a second to read that if you have a chance.
Well, thanks, Tom. We will look that up, and we will go into the Fall Fiesta a little bit later in the show, show you how to invite in those top-level agents that and also remind the suppliers, hey, this is half off for an entire year to come in and interact with our travel advisor and agent community and supplier community as well. So we'll show you how to do that at the end of the call. But I can't wait any longer. Let's bring Vicki onto the call. So, Vicki, I think you just got a promotion. I had said your beautiful title, Vice President of Sales and Trade Support and Service for Royal Caribbean, but Tom calls you a champion of the industry. So that sounds like you just got a promotion.
Yeah, I like that actually. I like to refer to my title as the best friend to the travel advisors. That's really my job. I'm here to serve travel advisors everywhere. It's been my entire career. So I have a fancy title on my business card, but really I like champion and best friend to the travel advisors.
I love that. That's a perfect way to do it. And that sets up our interview today beautifully. Now, we've been very grateful here at the Hub from the start. Our friend Galen Matthews has done a terrific job of updating us on Royal Caribbean. She's been a contributor and a guest and a panelist, and she's been doing great. But it's exciting to talk to you. Let's just start at the beginning. How are things at Royal Caribbean right now?
Busy, really busy. Once we got I always say every red light eventually turns green. Well, our red light is no longer red, but it's not quite green yet. It's probably more close to an amber color. So we are proceeding now that the no sale order has been lifted. We now have a conditional sale order. And so now the hard work really begins. I mean, everything up until now, we've been working hard, planning on return to service. But now that the CDC has approved our plan and put in some additional thoughts and suggestions, we really are working very, very hard.
So let's go back for a second and then get to where we are right now. What has Royal Caribbean been doing since March? Like, what have you been busy doing to get us to this point? And then we'll talk about the conditional time and then finally getting our customers back out on the water. But let's go back to March till now. What have you been up to as a company?
Oh, it's been very busy, as I said. In the very beginning, we didn't realize this pause was going to be so long, the suspension. But at the point that we started to really understand that this wasn't going to be a quick get back into service, we then had to get our crew home. That was several months of really complicated travel to get the crew back home. And once we got them back home, many of them had to quarantine, and now we have to bring them back. And so we already have some crew back in Miami right now. They've actually been at the Marriott Hotel for a couple of weeks. They've been quarantined, and many of them have moved over now to the Navigator of the Seas. And the Navigator is docked in Miami, and so they will be quarantined now for an additional 2 weeks. In their staterooms. And so we're letting them, of course, use guest staterooms, which are all balconies. And they all knew ahead of time how long this quarantine period was going to be, that it was 2 weeks at the Marriott with room service and daily calls and training, lots and lots of training. So now we're getting ready to come back into service. We're just not there yet.
That sounds like quite a lift for your staff. What does it say about the staffs that makes this possible, that they're willing to go through all of this quarantine and get all of this stuff to get back out on the water?
They love our guests. They love your clients. They love serving your clients. This is their livelihood, but it's also their passion. And we had so many more volunteers of crew that wanted to come back, but we have to phase the ships in. So we have to get the first one going. And once we know, and we've tested the protocols, you probably have heard a couple weeks ago on one of my coffee chats, maybe it was like a week and a half ago, I mentioned that we were going to do trial cruises. Well, I didn't realize how many people were enthusiastically interested in doing this. So we've had already 11,000 people send us emails saying we want to be a part of it. We now just put up a Facebook page yesterday because we just can't manage the inbox. So, that's good news for all of you. It's not just travel partners that are asking to be a part of the volunteer cruises. It's a lot of Crown and Anchor guests. It's a lot of consumers. It's been picked up by a lot of media, and people are like, I'm ready to come back, and the good news for all of you is it shows you that people are interested in wanting to cruise. Now, of course, these people are interested in a free cruise, but
Sure.
The good news is they're not afraid to cruise, which has been very promising for us. So, and people have written me the most clever emails, poems. I mean, like, pick me, I want to be your guinea pig. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but we're overloaded right now with a lot of volunteers. We really don't know how we're going to eventually with these trial cruises. We're going to do 3 of them on the first ship. And then I think each ship is going to have a trial period so that our crew goes through the protocols. We're going to do mock drills. What if somebody was to get COVID on board a ship? We've redesigned our medical facilities. So there's a lot of things that we've already put into place at this point.
Well, I can't speak for Tom, but here at the Hub, we could make the decision of who gets to go and who doesn't. If you want to just outsource that, I'm sure that we could handle. I mean, there'd be 2 rooms that are full right off the bat, but we could figure out the rest if that's a service that we can provide for you.
We might be calling on you.
Okay. All right. We can do that for you. I do want to think positively, right? I was going to ask a bunch of questions about the stuff that's going on between now and when we get back in the water. But you know what? Let's just talk about getting back out on the water, and let's talk about making our customers happy. Let's start with the perfect Royal Caribbean customer. Who are they, and who's a perfect fit for what you do?
Well, it really depends on the customer, right? If you're a family, you'd say Royal Caribbean is the perfect vacation for families with all different ages because of our Adventure Ocean program, all the activities and entertainment venues and restaurants. But if you're a couple, you'd say, you know, this is the kind of vacation I want. Maybe you like spa and relaxation, you can have that. If you like entertainment, you have options there. So there isn't one customer profile, but it's really people who are looking for a great quality vacation.
And your biggest fans, your most loyal customers, the Crown and Anchor group, are they starting to reach out and get vocal about getting back out on a cruise? Are you feeling that energy?
Oh, definitely. The Crown and Anchor, and for those of you who have sold Royal Caribbean in the past, you definitely want to tap into your Crown and Anchor guests, the people who have cruised with us, because they are the first in line and they are booking multiple cruises. They can't wait. You know, we have this one guest, Super Mario. I don't know if you've heard of Super Mario, but
No.
he literally lives on our ships 50 weeks of the year. And he goes home on the weekend, you know, like on the turnaround days, always cruising out of Miami. He has a place in Aventura. He is an investor, a stockbroker. And so because of our fast Wi-Fi, Zoom, he's able, not Zoom, I'm so tired. It's Voom, the fastest Wi-Fi at sea. I'm so zoomed out already. He's able to do his business, and he is really struggling being back on land. We check in with him weekly just to make sure he's surviving and doing okay. He even had a designated parking spot at the Port of Miami.
Wow.
So he'll be
That's
back.
amazing.
But Crown and Anchor is definitely the easy, the low-hanging fruit. You should go after all of the people who cruised on Royal before.
Well, let's take it one step further. And we had a question in the chat. Jonna wanted to know the Facebook page for the free trials. And then Marianne, thank you for jumping in and shared the link. So that's there in the chat if you're interested. Let's talk about making sure that Royal Caribbean is an option for everyone. What can we be doing right now to build that 2021 cruise business beyond reaching out to those special customers you just mentioned?
Well, if you have clients that have opted with FCC's future cruise credits, those are the ones you want to reach out to first. So if you have clients who were booked this year and we suspended the sailings, you definitely want to follow up with those clients because they can take those FCCs to any agency. And you don't want to lose somebody that you sold the first time around. So you want to follow up with those. And then probably the best way is to just start the conversation with people and saying, you know, hi, Sandy, you know, how are you doing? And just check in with people and be proactive on phone. I mean, I definitely am a phone person. I like phone, or even these kinds of ways to communicate. And I think when you can talk to somebody and, you know, just ask them how they're doing, they'll tell you, oh, I'm so tired of being at home, or I'm so done with this pandemic, and say, yeah, so many of my friends and clients have said the same thing, and I can't. And then they'll usually volunteer and say, I can't wait to go back on vacation. And that's the opening for you. And say, yeah, I'm hearing that from so many people. When are you thinking about going on vacation? And that just starts the conversation. And, you know, people are at different stages in wanting to go back to travel. Some are ready now and some are traveling. Some are doing the Fun and Sun Mexico destinations, and others are just a little bit more hesitant and maybe waiting a little bit. But all you have to do is just ask, so when are you thinking about going back on vacation? And I'm just picking on you, Sandy. And, you know, you might say, you know, next summer, because a lot of people missed their vacations this year. So they're going to make up for it next year, for sure.
That's a good tip. Thinking about phone calls over emails or Facebook messages, those are easier perhaps, but they won't be as informative as you just mentioned. Give us some more tips and ideas that travel advisors can use to sell Royal Caribbean or improve their business in general.
Well, I always like to say one of the best tips I have, and I know that travel partners that do this, they're very successful, and I know this to be factually true. So if you ask the question every single time you collect final payment for any destination, okay, it can be a land-based, okay. If you say, Michelle, I'm so excited that you're going on the Liberty of the Seas, you're going to have an amazing time. And, you know, and Michelle's all excited, and then just say, you know, I just want to ask you a question. This is just when you've collected final payment, is there anyone else that you can think of that might want to go with you on this vacation? If you ask that question each time you collect final payment, you will close one new sale every 4 times you've asked that. So 1 out of 4 times you'll get a new customer as a result of simply saying, is there, you know, anyone else that you can think of that might want to go on this vacation with you? And usually the person that Michelle refers you to was not one of your customers. It's a friend of Michelle. Michelle might say, you know, I hadn't thought about that, but maybe my good friend Galen wants to go with us. Let me check with Galen and her husband and see if they're interested in going with us. That's a great idea. And that's how you get the snowball growing.
Well, of course Galen wants to go. Come on, that's a given. Galen, just book Galen. She wants to go. This is really good stuff. Like, these are really actionable tips. If someone wants to learn more from you or get some more advice, do you share these tips, or like how else can we learn to get better at selling?
Yeah, I've been doing Vicki's tips. I don't know how many of you subscribe to it. It's complimentary. I see a few hands. Okay, good. I have about 10,000 people that get it every day, Monday through Friday. I'm in my 6th year. It's just amazing to me that I've been doing this so long. And my intent was never to go 6 years. My intent was just to do it for 1 year, 250 tips, right? 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And so, and then when I was just ready to like kind of, okay, wind it down, I was getting such great feedback. Oh, that's a great tip. And so I've continued it. And so Vicki's tips is one way. And, you know, probably another great way to get some selling tips is just to call Katie or Michael or Galen or any of your salespeople that are there to serve you. You know, one of the things that we put a priority on is we did have a major layoff back in, I think it was March or April, probably April, after we saw that this was going to last a lot longer. And we did not lay off our salespeople. We felt that they were there to help you through this transition period. And we want our salespeople out there serving all of our travel partners. And so they're a wealth of knowledge. They're motivated to keep you successful and to help you build your business. So it really doesn't matter where you are in the race of your business. If you're at the starting and you just got into travel, or you've been in travel for a long time, they want to see you successful, because your success is their success, and their success is our success as a brand.
We definitely want to learn how to sign up for that email tip of the day. Like, is that a URL that we go to? Do we just share an email address with you? How do we get signed up?
If you go to Loyal to You Always, which is our travel advisors kind of hub, if you go to, do you like that, your hub?
I like that.
LoyalToYouAlways.com. And if you go under Vicki, you'll see Vicki's tips. And all you have to do is give us your name and your email address, and you'll start receiving them. And a lot of suppliers, and I know there's some suppliers perhaps that are on this call, suppliers get it. I mean, my good buddy, John Chernesky from Princess Cruises, he says, oh, I read your tips every day. And, you know, sometimes, and other people, I know River Cruise people have it. And, you know, it's good. If it makes all of our industry better and stronger. And I do quote travel partners, and I always give you credit for it. I don't own it. If I read something about a tip, I definitely want to give you the credit for it. So if you have a good tip you want to share, it's similar to my coffee chats. I always put a travel advisor's tip in there. So I want to highlight you, because learning from your peers is probably one of the best ways to get new knowledge.
Oh, Vicki, here at the Hub, we're full of it. We'll send plenty of stuff your way. That's for sure. No, it
Okay.
sounds like a great resource. We've got some questions from our guests on the call. Georgianne was asking, you mentioned your health facilities have been remodeled. Are you planning to have COVID testing labs or COVID testing capability on board when you set sail?
Definitely, and we will have it at the pier. That's part of the requirements, is to have the testing at the pier. And then in advance, in our initial stages, your clients will have to get a COVID test in advance. So they'll have to download the results on the app. And that way, when they come to the pier, they are most likely COVID free. And then there will be another test at the pier. And then we will be testing on board. We'll have the facilities to test on board. We are also increasing the number of doctors we have on board. So on an Oasis class ship, for example, we will have, I think it's 10 doctors, 10 physicians, including an infectious disease specialist. Now, maybe it's overkill. Maybe we don't need that many. We probably don't, but we want to, make sure that when you're cruising with Royal Caribbean, it is the safest, healthiest vacation you can choose.
That's a great piece of information. Another question, Ruby Stanfield is joining us. Ruby, go ahead with your question.
Well, I had a client just ask me if they could volunteer, and I thought it was just for the travel industry, and I told them no, it was just for us, but I guess I lied to them. So I don't want to send them to your Facebook page. I'd rather take care of myself. So how would I assist them in this?
Well, I know that I think the Facebook page and Galen, it went up at 3 in the morning last night. I think it's volunteer of the season. Maybe you can help me out. Or maybe Michael, somebody who might know I haven't looked at it yet. I know it's up. So, if you have a client that wants to be a part of our test cruise, they really do have to register on their own. If you want to register, you can send me an email, because I'm keeping my own list of the travel partners, because we'll first want to pick our travel partners. But there will be a lot of requirements if we're going to select you. We have to know that you don't have any underlying medical conditions, and you're going to have to get a COVID test, and all of the things that we're going to ask our paying guests to do.
So the other thing, Ruby, is there's a link. If you want to go to that Facebook page, you can just take the link off of that page and give it to your customer, because as Vicki said, they've got to register their information, but they'll go directly to the registration site, and then we'll have more directions from there. For right now, we're just taking the list, but that's exactly right. And it's great customer service for you to assist them.
Thank you.
That's great. Thanks for the question, Ruby. Tom, you had a question for Vicki. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. I had just asked in the chat, Royal Caribbean is great about the various sales and promotions and things that you guys do. And I had just asked, coming up, and what might be the timing as new sales or promotions start to ramp up. Traditionally January is obviously a huge cruise booking month. And is there something that we can look forward to, or that we can begin to plan our own marketing and advertising plans to match up with what you guys are doing for the restart?
Definitely. So with Thanksgiving, we'll have a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So that's a good time to get people who are ready to make that commitment to start to think about it this week, next week, and then do it. That is going to be our best sale between now and the end of the year. And then with Wave, we will have other sales. So talk to your strategic account manager, and they're there to help you build your business, as I said earlier.
Awesome.
Thanks for that, Tom. Hub star Jennifer Donchez on the call today. Jennifer, you've got a really good question. It's a follow-up about the COVID testing. Go ahead. Oh,
Let me go
there
in.
you are.
Okay, can you hear me now? Oh,
Yep.
Hi. Hi, Vicki. So nice to see you. With the news of a vaccine, do you think that you will waive people getting required to have the COVID test and start to do almost like a vaccine passport or something like that for people who do get the vaccine?
We don't really know the answer yet to that question, because this is all relatively new. I suspect, and not to be quoted, but I suspect that once you have the vaccine, if you can document that, that would be as good as a COVID test. But more to come. I'm trying to get on my coffee chat. I don't know how many of you have listened to my coffee chat. Anybody raise your hand? A few of you? Okay. I'm trying to get next Wednesday. I've been keeping it a little more fluid and not always announcing who my next week's speaker. I'm trying to get Dr. Calvin Johnson on. I've sent him an email saying, would love to have you come on, because he's really our resident expert on all things COVID. And so hopefully he'll come on next Wednesday. You can ask, and he'll go through all of that. But that's a good question about the vaccine, because if that vaccine is ready, I think that ultimately is our solution.
It certainly is the starting gun, right? The news broke on Monday, like, hey, the vaccine does really, really well, and people started to get excited. That is for sure. I want to ask, this might seem like a weird question, but let's just dial back from a second of talking cruises and talking sales. As a professional, as someone high up in Royal Caribbean, and as a veteran of the industry, what have you learned in the last 6 months? Did you have any aha moments that just reflecting on it all, you thought, that's one of the big takeaways here?
I think what I learned is, I always had a long commute to the office, and when we go back, I will still have, it's about an hour and a half each way, even though it's only like 34 miles. Isn't that crazy? But I miss the social part of being in an office. And so that's my big aha moment. I miss being around people. Now it's great to have Zoom and all these different devices. But at the end of the day, it was a lot more fun to work in an environment where there was a lot of energy. So I do miss that. My other aha moment is I really miss traveling. Um, Probably my husband misses me traveling too. We've been married 34 years. He's never had me home this many days in a row since the beginning of the year, because I've always traveled. I've always had at least one suitcase out and another one as a backup for the following week. So when American Airlines calls me and they say, Mrs. Freed, we missed you. And I'm like, I miss you too. I think, having to slow down and be a little bit more patient, which is not really my DNA. As a salesperson, I want to like go. I want to like get on with it and get the business. And I've had to learn to adjust and just slow it down a bit. So be home a lot more.
Yeah, I'm sure that first trip out is going to feel like $1 million, no doubt about it. As we start to come back to port here, if you will, last question I have at this time is, all right, so we've got a customer on the phone, right? We're talking to a customer and they're a cruiser, right? Like, oh, hey, my friend Vicky's in the office. She's going to tell you all about Royal Caribbean. So what would you tell them about the Royal Caribbean difference and why they should go with you?
Okay, and that's a great question, Pat. There's a lot of great cruise products out there, a lot of great vacation products. So if somebody said, what's the difference between Royal Caribbean and perhaps other cruise lines, I would tell you we have the unique combination of quality and energy combined. So there are quality lines out there. I mean, you'd say certainly Celebrity is a quality line. And there are lines out there that have energy, right? You might say Carnival's got, the fun and the energy, but we have the unique combination of quality and energy combined. And the way you can really think about it is you look at our beautiful ships, they are large. So they are in the mass market just because of their size. But the experience on board is a quality experience with the food, the service, the entertainment, and then the energy is because of all of that. So it really is a unique combination of quality and energy, and nobody else in the industry has that combination.
That's a great answer, right? All of the amenities, but then everything else that you would want all in one place. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Is there anything we haven't covered that you want to make sure that we cover before we let you go?
I just want to thank all of you because I think the heroes this year have been the travel advisors. You've had to endure with a lot of cancellations, changes, rebookings, and you've had to sit there and kind of wait while we're waiting for the rebirth of our industry. But hang in there, it's happening. It's going to be right around the corner. 2021 is our comeback year. We're going to need your support. You are the value interpreters. You helped guide the consumer into making the right buying decision. I teach a class. I used to teach a class, and for the last 8-9 years, people who are new to the industry who buy a franchise to get into this industry. And I always ask them, do you think of yourself as a salesperson? And many of the people that buy a franchise are actually not from the sales environment. They either were nurses or teachers, or maybe they're IT people. And I see them raise their hand because they feel like I have to answer her question. I have to say I'm a salesperson. And you see these, especially, and I'm not knocking IT people because I rely on them and lean on them. But I always say, none of you are salespeople. If you re-look at the way you think about who you are and how you represent the consumer. I always say a salesperson is sort of talking to you across the desk, right? Isn't that how you think about salespeople?
For sure,
like
yeah.
You're on one side of the desk, they're on the other. But if you look at that, you help guide people to making the right buying decision. Now you're sitting on the same side of the bench. You're sitting on the bench with them. You help someone. I'm going to guide you to making the right buying decision. It changes the dynamics. You don't think of yourself as I'm having to hustle and get their credit card. You're now guiding the consumer to making the right buying decision. And that's an important role that you play. And I think, and I have been in this business a long time, I think the internet has become your best friend. And the reason why is in the very beginning, people said, oh, there's not going to be a need for travel agents anymore. Travel advisors are going to go out of business because the internet's going to replace them. I think when people go online and they Google, maybe they put in Royal Caribbean, they get so many different sites. And then they go and they look, even if they go to royalcaribbean.com, it is confusing, right? You go on an Oasis class and you see all these different types of balconies. You see Central Park balconies and boardwalk balconies, and you're saying, huh, what? And you never heard of it. And it gives the consumer confusion. When the internet can do that for you, consumer confusion, they need someone to be the value interpreter. And that's the role each and every one of you play. So your role throughout this entire pandemic has become even more valuable because the consumer is going to lean on you to give them the right advice and guidance.
That's a great point, because as someone that's not in the industry, I look at this smart, capable, engaging group of people almost like a doctor. They're prescribing exactly what that customer needs. And you have to know everything to know exactly what's right for them. You know, I was all ready to let you go, Vicki, but Jonna has a question I want to get in real quick. Jonna, go ahead.
Oh, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly, first of all.
Hey, I'm here for you. I got it right.
Thank you. Hi, Vicki. Jonna with Ruby's Travel. I was asking if clients that we've rebooked using those future cruise credits, people that got canceled out this last summer for next year, are they eligible for any additional discounts if whatever rate they have booked now? Can they book any new like flash sale or anything if it's a better rate than they currently have?
Yes, so we have the best price guarantee. Thank you for asking that question.
Sure thing.
So if your clients have booked and they're on the books and a better price comes out, they can convert to that if they're under the guidelines and the dates of when we offered the best price guarantee, which is still going on.
That's terrific, Jonna. Thank you very much. And I'm pretty proud of myself that I got that right, because I don't always get it right. Vicki, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show. I do want to give Galen one more chance, though, to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Galen, bless her heart, she's been coaching me up to make sure I didn't say something stupid. So Galen, how did I do? Did we get it all in? Is there anything that we've missed?
You did great, Pat, and I think it's impossible to get it all in. So
That's true.
I just wanted to thank everybody for taking time to invest in your education and time out of your afternoon to come join Vicki today. I mean, we've got the greatest jobs in the world. We literally turn the unknown into the unforgettable, and we can't do it without you. So we love you guys.
Well, thank you, Galen. And thank you again, Vicki. We've got a couple other pieces of business that we have to take care of here as we finish up today's edition of the Hub afternoon show. It's so weird because this is normally the morning show and I had to move it, long story, but we're all here now. So we mentioned the Fall Fiesta. So Tom, recap this Fall Fiesta promotion, because this is a way that we can get all of the cool kids into the Hub in the month of November.
Yes, absolutely. So before I do that, though, I just have to say thanks to Vicki very, very, very much. You know, thank you for all you do for the agents. Thank you for instilling confidence. I think we all need a shot of that. You know, that's part of what the morning show is about, is really, you know, us getting together to say, hey, you know what do we all need to do? How can we help each other? And having you here to reinforce that is really, really important. So thank you so much for your time and, you know, out of your busy schedule. And so in terms of the Fall Fiesta, you know, our goal here is to continue to grow the Hub, continue to bring more great agents into the Hub like we did in October. So we're continuing the Agents Hub free. So no charge to travel agents for 1 year, a 1 year membership on the Hub. And, you know, we really want to focus on, for the rest of the year, you know, how do we continue to build the Hub membership and bring more great people to the platform? Because as Pat always says, you know, the bigger, the better. And, you know, that means more great ideas. That means more feedback, more input. And, you know, we just want to really continue to focus on that. And then also in November, now that there's about 400 agents that have joined and are part of the platform, you know, now we'd like to invite and ask some suppliers to join us. Obviously, you know, like Royal Caribbean, and Galen's been with us for quite some time. You know, they really bring a lot to the party. They're obviously a huge part of the equation. I mean, it would not be a Hub, you know, without suppliers there. So we're going to continue to work on that. And, you know, how we started this was that we wanted to have the entire travel industry under one roof, and we meant that. And so every segment, every aspect of the industry is welcome. We have some travel writers now that have joined us, and we have representatives from all different segments of the industry. So that's what Fall Fiesta is all about. And we hope that if you haven't joined us yet, that you will, or if you are a member, reach out to your colleagues, or reach out to your coworkers and just say, hey, you know what, a little bit of time out of your day off of social media, which we say is, hey, it's great, but there's a place for us to do business together that is off of Facebook, in a much more professional, focused setting. And that's what the hub is all about.
And we get a chance to interview someone like Vicki. You get to ask questions from Vicki in real time. And we're having a conversation amongst professionals, which is what makes this great. So kudos to bringing that up, Tom. If you're in the hub right now, I want to enlist you, draft you, beg you, coerce, coax. I can't think of any more words. But I'm asking you to bring in your friends who are great travel advisors, because we're trying to get to 1,000 travel advisors by the end of the year. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. I can see Tom throwing pens at me as we speak, but that's really the goal. And to get there, we're going to need advisors to invite advisors. We're going to need leading suppliers to invite their clients to come join us as a service of the supplier. What a great gift to give to their advisors as a chance to survive 2020 and have a big 2021. So if you're on the platform right now, I'm going to show you how to invite someone as we speak. So you log in, you click members, and once you click members, you click invite right there. And when you click invite, you can add in email addresses right here. You can customize your message, or you could go down here to the bottom and grab this link. When you grab that link, you can send it to everyone that you would like to send it to. So if you're a leading advisor and you want to invite other advisor friends, you just send them that link, one click, and they get in. It's also a great way, like we say, the strategy that's really helped us out a lot is to work with suppliers to have them send this link to their leading clients as well. So members, invite, and that's where you can do the thing. And now that we've said it out loud, Tom, we kind of have to get to 1,000 members. So yeah, sorry about that, pal.
Hey,
but
we work well under pressure.
looks like that's what it's going to be. But it's been a terrific day today. Thank you so much to Vicki Freed for coming on and sharing all of the goodness about Royal Caribbean. Always a big thanks to Galen as well for her support. That wraps up the Hub Afternoon Show for November 12th. A fun, fast, positive, enlightening, brilliant, flawless check-in on the travel industry. I'm Pat Miller, your host. We'll see you on Tuesday for Travel Think Tank. Bye-bye, everybody.